Good morning. Happy Tuesday. It is 10 whole degrees warmer today than it was yesterday. Yesterday at this time of the morning it was about 34 degrees out. Today it's 44 degrees. And I'm not complaining about that. Where to start? Let's start with, is a complaint proof? If you file a complaint, a lawsuit, that initial pleading that you file is a complaint, where you list the facts as you best understand them, and you list the jurisdictional requirements and things like that, venue requirements to show they've been met or state they've been met. You ask for your compensation, etc. Make your jury demand. It is not in itself evidence of anything other than the fact that you have filed a complaint. You don't enter your complaint in as evidence. The court doesn't even consider your complaint, really. I mean, they're not looking at the truth or falsity of your complaint. The other side, opposing party, will file an answer to your complaint where they will dispute or agree with any of the facts that you laid out. They'll say, yes, this is correct. No, this is not correct. Or this is partially correct. And here's the part that's correct. And here's the part that's not correct. So it is not proof. So if you are alleging something and I ask for proof and you provide me with a complaint that is basically somebody's allegations of wrongdoing and is not in itself evidence, then thank you for the complaint, but it hasn't proved anything. It hasn't made any fact more or less likely. It's not proof. Damon Jones is now getting a sponsorship, an actual attorney, a bar card attorney with 32 years of experience, not just 6 months of family law. It's 32 years of experience. Has a website, and lots of lawyers have websites. This particular website is it tells you all the things that you need to know, according to Damon R. Jones. And it's $250 to sign up for it. Good morning. And if you do sign up, he gets a kickback from it. So if you want to sign up, I'm not saying do it or don't do it. I'm just saying he does get a kickback. The sticky wicket thing that caught me is that he said that he was a member of it, and I said, well, that's really strange, you know. This guy who has to beg for hot dog money had $250 laying around to join this paid legal website. And, you know, he's a sovereign citizen. He's a full-on retard sovereign citizen who really has no understanding of the law, period. He has advocated for, like, oh, they don't have to have a registration or a license in the past, and other stupid things like that. Like, wow, you know, this isn't a real shining example of the quality of the teaching on this particular website. If Damon Jones is your star pupil. So I did about 2 seconds worth of research on it. The guy whose name is on the site, he is a licensed, active attorney in the state of Florida. He says he's a winning attorney, and that is probably technically true in 32 years. If you don't have a win, then well, there's probably some issues. But it's phrased very carefully so that he's not telling you anything other than he has won at least one case. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad attorney. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying, just be aware of the claims that someone is making. And the second thing that I noticed when I went to this website is it teaches you about the process, not about the law. And I know that's a distinction that some of you aren't going to get. But in law school, there is a class you take first year. It's called legal writing, where they teach you how to actually write the paper. They're not teaching you any substantive law, but they're teaching you how to write a pleading. They're teaching you the style, the form, how to correctly use citations, etc. How to do research, like literally how to conduct the research. There's another class, I think it's only, if I remember correctly, it was only a 6 month class, a semester class, not a full year. I could be wrong. But there was a class on evidence, which taught you the rules of evidence, how to make objections, how to determine if a particular piece of evidence is relevant, etc. It doesn't teach you any substantive law. It just teaches you the process on, when, where, why, and how to make objections and things like that. When I first began practicing law, when I first started working on cases, it wasn't the actual substance of the law itself that took the most time and effort, or still, even to this day, takes the most time and effort. It's learning the procedures, the correct procedures. Because yesterday I got a mandatory settlement conference set and a trial set. And so what I did yesterday for about an hour was to go over the local rules for that particular court and find out what is due and when. Because they have rules that say, 5 court days before the mandatory settlement conference, you have to meet and confer. 7 days before the mandatory settlement conference, you have to submit a settlement statement or whatever. They have various requirements that you have to do, and they give you time frames on when to do it, and that's the process of the law. That's not the law itself. And what Damon R. Jones's website is for helping people with the process of the law. It talks about evidentiary issues, how to get something put on the record. It talks about when to make objections and how to make objections, and those are all wonderful things to know. It talks about how to persuade judges. Not what law to use to persuade them with, but how to actually persuade them. So, it is a website that is focused on procedure, not law. You're not going to go in there and, at least from what I can see, not having paid money to join it, you're not going to find various treatises on how to determine whether or not you are in a public forum or a limited forum or a non-public forum. So, which leads me to my next point, is that D. Cup Jones is retarded. He makes a very big point about this particular lawyer who wrote this website. D. Cup Jones called this lawyer his lawyer, and that's interesting. It would be interesting to know if this lawyer has represented D. Cup Jones in the past. But D. Cup Jones makes a big issue about this lawyer having 32 years of experience, and if this lawyer says something about the law, that D. Cup Jones would take it to the bank. And this website is telling people how to be pro se litigants. So I'm going to let that sink in with you, where Jones is telling you that he would take the advice and counsel of this lawyer to the bank, because this lawyer's been practicing law for 32 years, and lawyers will tell you that they're constantly learning about the law, and we are. But here's a website for you to, spend maybe a week's worth of your time. It looks like there's like five hours of videos on evidence. There's various features. It's going to take you, probably looks from a quick glance, it's going to take you about a week to go through. But if experience is such an issue, I'm sure D. Cup Jones didn't think this through, because he never thinks any fucking thing through. If experience is an issue, what you're paying for with a lawyer is you're paying for that experience, that expertise, that knowledge and understanding, because we're learning more about the law every day. That's D. Cup Jones's own logic, or lack thereof, used against him, kids, and that was free. That's what you get with a lawyer. You get someone who could think straight. You get someone who is outside of your little area of passion, who can see the facts in your case in an objective light, who can make objective calls about what should be included and what shouldn't. Because a lawyer knows, having the experience, what a judge would buy. You're literally paying for the experience. That practicing family law for 6 months that D. Cup Jones likes to erroneously point out, that was backed with the experience of studying for and taking the bar. I have proven that I have the knowledge and understanding and the logical powers to practice law. And I have under my belt that Kaplan course that prepared me to take the bar exam, which was about $2,000 and actually covered substantive law and not procedure. It's also the 3 years of law school that is experience that you're paying for. I have the language and the understanding of how to use the language, what things mean. That's what you're paying for. And that's why even if you look at the jurisdictionary website, it says for people who can't afford lawyers. And if you can't afford a lawyer, then yeah, your only option is to represent yourself. And then if that is the case, I strongly recommend you take every precaution available to you to educate yourself on how, when, why, and where to make objections, how to make a compelling argument, how to spot evidence that opposing parties will try to sneak in so that you can get it excluded or what have you. But it is not as good as having a competent lawyer representing you. There is no substitution for someone having shown they have the knowledge and ability to practice law, i.e. having taken the bar exam. And if 32 years of experience is so amazing, D. Cup Jones, my boss has 46 years of experience practicing law. He was practicing law before I was born, D. Cup Jones. And he thinks I do an excellent job. So, there you go. And besides that, 90% of practicing the law is looking up the statute, looking up case law on it. You know, it's not like you have to have that knowledge just in your head. You could just look it up. Because being a lawyer, you have the ability to understand the statute and to find case law on it, that everything like that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day.